Welcome back to another episode of Health is Wealth, and thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. And as always, I am beyond grateful and thankful to the bottom of my heart for each and every one of you who is supporting this by tuning in and watching these episodes. Truly hope you are enjoying this podcast and hopefully getting some value from it, as I'm always sharing just thoughts that I have, things that I'm learning, things that I'm relearning, maybe in a new perspective as I'm just on my own journey, right? As we all are trying to figure out this thing called life and, really trying to create that greater version of ourselves. And so, being able to hopefully get something out of this, whether it's some value of just something you're learning for the first time, maybe something you just see in a different, perspective now, or if it's just so we can kind of get a chance to know each other a little bit more. So you kind of, understand me and what I'm about and the things that, I'm on pursuit on in my own life and journey. And so for this week's topic, I wanted to bring up something that I talked on a little bit this week, myself, and I just thought it was so good. I really wanted a chance to bring that message out to more people. And it is that I believe that the quality of our lives are determined by the quality of our standards. I'm gonna let you sit on that for just a second. Wow, crazy, right? Like, think about it. The quality of our lives are determined by the quality of our standards. And so for me, what that really means, when I think about standards, is I think about, standards are really kind of who we are in a sense, right? What we believe in, what we stand for, what we represent, the expectations we hold for ourselves, the things we accept, the things we don't tolerate, the expectations we have of who we are. And so when I think about standards, I think about this code we try to live by and through. And I believe that if we can hold ourselves to higher standards and have better quality of standards, then ultimately we're going to have a better quality of life. Because for me, what it really means when I think about, having quality standards is, again, raising our expectations for who we are, right? How we live life, how we conduct ourselves in life, the things that we believe in, the things that we allow and don't allow into our life, the kind of people we allow and don't allow into our lives, and I find that we hold our standards to things such as, the values that we have, right? Again, maybe habits that we have, the mindsets that we have, the activities that we are part of, the people we are surrounded by in life, again, the beliefs that we have, and so many different things. And so when I think about that, I believe that when we do have and hold ourselves to higher standards and higher, quality of them, we are saying we are worth much more. We have much more self-worth, and the difference between that and not having so great of standards is when we don't have good quality standards, it really does show up in our lives, by the way we think, talk, act, how we conduct ourselves, right? The kind of people we're around, the kind of activities we do, and things of that such. And I just think about myself and my own journey. And when I didn't have good quality of standards, it really showed up in my life, because when I didn't have good quality of standards, I didn't hang around the greatest of people, right? When I didn't have good quality of standards, I didn't uphold the most, core values and integrity and morals and things of that, right? I kind of let any and everything, dictate how my life went, right? Most of the time, the bad influences that were involved in that. And so again, not having the good quality of standards in my life really did show up as such. I wasn't in, very productive activities or doing very productive things or had a very productive mindset, right? Because not having standards and not having good quality standards means you have no boundaries, right? You have no restrictions. It's like anything goes and anything flows, right? And so not holding ourselves to those higher standards and expectations, you kind of let let anything just sit into your life. And so again, a lot of that really just showed up in who I was and the kind of things I did and the people I hung around and all of that. And so what I've really come to learn though in my life now is that the better quality of standards that I hold myself to live by, the better quality of life that I have begun to live. Because now that I hold myself and I hold higher quality standards, I tell myself I am worth much more than this. This is the person who I am. These are the things that I don't tolerate and do accept. And this is just, again, who I am and just how I live life. And a lot of those standards come in the way I think, how I talk, how I treat people, the kind of people that I want in my life, the kind of activities and hobbies and things that I do in my life, right? And they are all things that serve me better because now that I hold myself to better quality of standards and higher expectations to myself, right? I have restrictions. I have boundaries, right? You know, these quality of standards that I hold for myself is how I just live life in my day to day. And a lot of these things, again, comes back to how I think, how I talk, how I treat people, the values that I hold, right? The beliefs that I have in. And it's just a part of everything that's in my life and that surrounds it. And because I've been able to hold these standards and build better quality standards, it shows up in everything in my life. I live a much better life because of that now, because I hold myself to those standards. It's made me such a better person in life, and it's really changed the direction, you know, of my life and where it's going because of those standards. You know, now my standards involve, you know, the kind of activities that I do. You know, I'm always conducting myself in the best, you know, way possible because, you know, I'm really conscious about, you know, how I act in public, how, you know, I convey myself to people, what people think of me in a sense of, you know, someone who's got good standards and good morals and he's doing productive things in life and you know, he's someone who's positive and all these different things. And it matters much to me, right? So holding those standards, those better quality of standards for myself show up in just everything that I do, right? And again, it's the things that I don't tolerate, the things that I accept, the things that I hold myself to and expectations. You know, my days now are filled with me being a part of stuff that only serves me, that only allows me to grow and become a better person. You know, I'm only doing things in my life now and surrounding myself, you know, with people who, you know, are thinking in such a way to where, you know, they're creative and they're thinking about a bigger future, and they're the right kind of people who treat people good and, you know, so many different things. You know, all the stuff that I do in my day-to-day life is because now I have those good quality of standards, right? Getting up early in the morning, you know, not going to bed super late, eating healthy, making sure I prioritize my exercise, right? Prioritizing self-improvement when it comes to mindset, reading all the time, you know, training in my martial arts, right? And, you know, the fact that I've been able to do those things is because I got these quality of standards that says, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. These are my standards. These are the things that, you know, I have to do in my day to day, right? This is a part of my identity and makes me who I am. But it's because I've got better quality standards that I hold myself higher to those expectations, that I believe it's the vibe that attracts, you know, that surrounding of people who are into the similar things, who have the similar quality of standards in their lives. And that's exactly how it shows up. And that's exactly how our lives get better. So again, the quality of our lives is absolutely determined by the quality of our standards. If you don't have good quality standards, I assure you it's going to show up as such in your life. You're going to hang out with low level frequency people who are probably not productive, who probably have no goals and no ambitions and are destroying and harming themselves and others and not producing and creating and building and on a pursuit for bigger, better things, you know. And it's because when we have no standards, again, it's a free for all. We let anything go, you know. We don't have a higher self of us that we hold ourselves too. But the minute we decide to live by better quality of standards, so many things in our lives begin to change, because in that moment we decide that we are going to hold that bar higher for ourselves, and just again how we approach everything. And so for me personally, I just see that night or day difference between when I didn't have quality of standards in my life and who I was and the things I did and the people who I was surrounded by and the directions in life I was going, to now to where I have such great quality of standards of things that I tell myself I am going to do, I am not going to do, the kind of things that I do in my day-to-day life, the kind of people that I have around in my life. The fact that I have better quality standards for myself allows me to have a better quality of life, full of, my own good positive mindset that's, going places and doing things and filling my life with activities that, help contribute to that. But then not only that, those standards again for myself are the people that I hang around and the people I'm influenced by and all that. And that just creates a better quality of life for myself as I get inspired by the people I'm around. I get inspired by the people who, I'm influenced by and so forth. So it really does come down to that. If you want a better quality of life, it comes down to the quality of standards that we hold to ourselves. So again, I hope you guys really sit and think about that, because it is so true, and I think it's just something that, if we can really think about, how the quality of our standards are in our own life, we can really reflect on the quality of our life in itself, and the better those standards that we can uphold ourselves to and expect ourselves to live to, ultimately, the better life we are going to live. Because again, we are telling ourselves we are worth this much. These are the things that we do and don't do. This is a part of who we are and who we are not. And I hope all those better quality standards are ultimately things that are just going to build you into that next greater version of yourself. Thank you all so much for tuning into this week's episode. And as always, I will see you on the next one.